Mr. Zhbogar, welcome to Jeta and Kosove.
Thank you very much.
In an internal EU document that Bern has discovered, an internal document where EU officials write to EU institutions, where EULEX, Brussels and EU office in Kosovo are involved, we have noticed in this document that you have agreed to overpass the Kosovo Assembly, despite the fact that in this letter regarding the appointment of 3 international judges, despite the fact that the President's legal office asked you, like you explained in the letter, to take the 3 appointments of international judges through the Kosovo Parliament to be voted and to ask them to take the oath in front of the Kosovo Parliament. Instead, this letter, after lengthy discussions, you say that, and after consultations with your favorite Enver Hassani, it's enough that you don't go through the Parliament. Does this mean you're treating, Mr. Zhbogar, you're treating Kosovo institutions like institutions of a banana republic? No. You're changing their mind.
No, I think we are treating Kosovo institutions very seriously. We just have our legal opinion how the appointment or reappointment or extension of the appointment of the 3 international judges should be handled. And our view is very clear. Article 20 of the Constitution of Kosovo speaks about possibility to delegate certain powers with the international treaty ratified in the Parliament to international organizations. The President of Kosovo, when she wrote to High Representative Ashton in April, she referred to this Article 20 and she delegated the power to appoint the judges, the EULEX judges, and this includes also the Constitutional Court judges, to EULEX.
How can she appoint powers that she does not have? The Parliament appoints.
Yes, she delegated power. Article 20 says this can be done if ratified as international treaty in the Assembly. And these letters were ratified by Kosovo as international treaty in the Assembly by 2/3 majority.
But you
and
cannot
that's how we get
an
legality.
International treaty with Kosovo when you don't, EU doesn't recognize Kosovo as a state.
But for Kosovo, this is an international treaty. For us, it's obligation as well, exchange of letters. But for Kosovo, treats this as an international treaty, and it was ratified as such.
Yes,
and that's our
but are you aware that based on Kosovo Constitution, an international treaty can preside national laws? It's true, but they are not. An international agreement cannot be above Constitution. It can be above national laws, but not above Constitution. Are you aware that you are trying to not respect the law of a country where you ask the politicians to respect the law every time? Especially the Constitutional Court.
I'm aware of this interpretation. I also had discussions with some of the political leaders here who have this interpretation, but we don't agree with this interpretation. We believe that the Article 20 ratified derogation of powers for appointment of judges ratified in the Assembly by 2/3 majority gives enough coverage and legal backing for EULEX to appoint judges.
But who have you consulted? Because in this letter, you say you have consulted the head of Constitutional Court, Enver Hassani, about this. And he said that it's okay to do it like this. Are you aware that it is conflict of interest for you to consult our head of Constitutional Court on issues that do not have to do with making decisions? That means you are getting assurances that if this is taken to Constitutional Court, Enver Hassani will be sure not to decide against your favor.
Well, first, Enver Hassani is not the court. Enver Hassani is president of the court. Second, I was explaining our interpretation of the reappointment of these 3 international judges. You know very well we don't want to comment on the leaked documents, which is an internal document.
If you have your interpretation of your legal people, why do you need to consult our head of Constitutional Court?
But that's what you said. That's what your leaked document says, that we consulted. But
your document, which was leaked to us. It is your document, nevertheless. Are you saying you didn't consult with Enver Hassani?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just not commenting on that. The only thing that I'm commenting is the way how we interpret the reappointment.
Then why did you not consult all parties involved? Why did you consult only those, the President and the Constitutional Court, to give you assurances on this?
We had discussions with the President. I'm not sure whether the discussion was the way it is interpreted in the internal document, because this is an internal document, one person writing down what she believes happened at the meeting. These are minutes, one-sided minute where I was not there. And so we did, of course, consult with the President, because our letter was sent to her. Our reappointment was sent to her so that she confirms. That's how it says in the exchange of letters.
Is it possible that you consult those that you feel are easier and more prone to taking the advice of internationals?
No, we consulted the President, because President, we are supposed to send the letter of appointment to the President, and she confirms the appointment. So of course we consult in such cases with the institution that we have to work together.
The reason why I'm asking is that on 23rd of April you had Arsim Bayrami, a PDK representative, an expert on Constitutional Court and not member of the position, but very much a key PDK representative, saying in the Parliament that there are, I will quote him in the Parliament, what he said, within this exchange of letters, there are issues which are unconstitutional. Although we have progressed to go from international oversight to full independence, there is still in this letter issues which regress this process and damages the constitutional order in Kosovo. More particularly claims that the EU has been consulting the head of Constitutional Court and President's office, although it is within the Parliament's mandate to appoint or not appoint these judges. So even he points out that it should be the Parliament to be consulted, not the Constitutional Court to be asked advice over this, or the President to have a say on appointment of judges. So if you wanted to really get the opinion before, even your PDK representative in the Parliament said that this is unconstitutional. How come you just took a shortcut?
Because we have different legal interpretation. I mean, we can go and ask every parliamentarian what he thinks, but at the end we have to take a decision. We have to take what we believe is our legal opinion, that is waterproof. And we believe that our legal opinion, as I explained it, is the one that stands.
But do you not apply the local interpretation when you come to a country? Or do you treat our country as a non-country and you're the boss here? Who is the boss in this country? The local laws or the interpretation of EU institutions of our laws?
Kosovo Assembly, who approved by 2/3 majority the exchange of letters where it's clearly said that we will appoint the judges, you elect judges, and the President will confirm the appointment.
With 2 amendments. Do you remember that this exchange of letters was approved with the condition of 2 amendments? There has to be amendment of constitutional regarding the tribunal, and there has to be amendment of institutional regarding the appointment of 3 judges, which has now gone to waters because you have worked it out with our
President. There's no argument that we will have any amendments. We never discussed that there will be any amendments. On this point of 3 international judges, we never discussed that there will be any amendments of constitution or the laws. We discussed amendments for the specialist court, because it will be court outside of Kosovo, because it will be the court composed only of internationals. And for that reason, you have to change constitution and you have to change legislation. That was always the case, and probably it's written in the letter.
That's how you read it. But if you read the transcript of that day, how the parliamentarians have understood it, and we have consulted with Arsim Bayrami since he made this claim, is that he understood that it's going to be amendments on 2 issues, tribunal and constitutional court. At least one member of parliament saw it like this.
Yes. Yes, constitutional court.
And on the 3 judges, and regarding the 3 judges.
But all related to the specialist court for the Marti Report Tribunal.
But can I ask you, what was the problem? Because your EU institutions took 40 EU-lex judges through our Kosovo system of how they need to be appointed. i.e. they took 40 names to the Kosovo Judicial Councils in order for Kosovo Judicial Council to propose them as the Kosovo law asks. Why couldn't you take 3 international judges through our rules, through the rules of Kosovo?
None of Kosovo judges go to the assembly. Even those 40 that you're mentioning, they never go to the assembly. It's appointed by the ULEX, goes to Kosovo Judicial Council, and then it goes to the president.
But the Constitutional Court, yes, they go through. That's the rule. So you accepted the rules regarding the 40 judges to go to Judicial Council, but you do not accept the rules that your international judges have to go through our parliamentary system. Why are they so much better than our local judges in Constitutional Court?
No, it's not that they are better. We agreed with Kosovo that the 3 international judges continue to be needed in Kosovo. Constitutional Court, I think, functioned very well, and there was a feeling, because of the lack of one constitutional judge who hasn't been elected yet, that it would be good if they continue for 2 more years with
Nobody's disputing that. We are disputing the process. Why did you choose to ignore the Kosovo Parliament?
We got the approval of Kosovo Parliament on the 22nd of April when they voted with 2/3 majority for this procedure.
They voted the agreement in order for you to still respect, to still take, they could have voted at the same time and you could have respected the law at the same time.
We never discussed that the Constitutional Court judges will go through the assembly. These 3 who are appointed already, who are there already, all we did was only extend their mandate. So there would be no new procedure, no call for procedures. So all we did was only extension of those 3
but why
judges.
Didn't you make sure?
We never said that the assembly is never mentioned in the exchange of letters. Kosovo Judicial Council is mentioned as the procedure for the other judges.
So why you
but
don't?
assembly is not mentioned.
How come? How come you ignore an institution that is part of Kosovo system? We have presidency, we have Constitutional Court, we have the assembly. How come you're ignoring it as in exchange of letters? That makes your request unconstitutional.
No, we are not ignoring. When we came with the exchange of letters to the assembly, and they voted for it, for the wording that is there.
But do you see what this makes you look like? Like at the moment, you internationals are telling locals you've got to respect the law, respect the decision of Constitutional Court over the current political situation. But at the same time, you ignored the parliament when it suited you, when you wanted something done quickly, the extension of their mandate. Why should we trust you internationals ever that you want to respect our law when you look for ways not to respect it?
Because we didn't violate anything. We just followed our interpretation, our understanding of the exchange of letters ratified in the parliament. And we followed that procedure.
You violated our procedure on how Constitutional Court members are chosen. You chose to find a way not for internationals to go through the same procedure.
Yeah. Who would establish if we violate it? It's not for you now to say that we violated, and it's not for different lawyers in Kosovo to say now that violated. If it was really a violation, then probably somebody has to be asked.
But it is on us to raise the question, because we started talking about zero tolerance on corruption, injustice, irregularities. So it is on us to ask the question on why did you choose to not to let your international judges pass through the same system as the locals, like not have double standards for something?
Because they were there already in the court. They are already in the court. They are not new judges who would come into the court and we need to go through the procedure. They were there already. All we did was...
If they were locals, they would go through being reappointed, not extension. They would have to take an oath in front of our parliament. If they were locals, why can't you not have the same procedure?
Because it was not envisaged in the exchange of letters. It could have been, but it was not.
But according to the letter that was leaked to us, it is because you pressurized President's office to change their mind about what is Kosovo law.
Well, you know European Union very well. We don't pressure anybody. I mean, this we are famous for, that we don't pressure.
Until now, we thought so. With this affair, it looks like you can change the mind of the legal office of our president after, as it says, lengthy discussions and consultations with your friends in the Constitutional
Well,
Court?
this is the power of arguments. With arguments, of course, you can convince the other side that you're right, and they accept your interpretation.
To ignore
It's not
our
the pressure.
law.
As I repeat again, we don't think we ignore your law. We don't think we ignore assembly. Actually, we highly value your assembly. We have nice words about the assembly in the progress report. We want a strong assembly to counter the executive power of the government. So there's no way that we diminish the role that assembly has in Kosovo society.
Let's talk about another appointment that we had to do recently. On 15th of September, Robert Caroline resigned. According to a statement that was released by the Constitutional Court, Robert Caroline, one member of the Constitutional Court, international member, resigned. He came back like if our institutions are a joke. Can someone just go and come as they please, your international judges? Or have they started to learn that Kosovo you don't need to treat seriously?
Judge Caroline didn't sign the contract with ULEX on the 1st of September. Until end of August, they had a contract that ran from Peter Fate. And from 1st of September on, ULEX took over these judges, and they had to sign the contract with them. He didn't come to sign the contract, and it was our understanding that he is not coming back, and that's why we also said publicly that he is not coming back. However, he changed his mind. He came back.
Oh, you paid
but
more
he
money?
But he never.
You paid more money. Why did he come back?
Well, he decided to come back,
But
which we are very happy because we appreciate his contribution.
Happy, but why should he be accepted back if, let me remind you, that Robert Caroline was a part of a judging panel where he decided over a mayor in Kosovo in 2010. He decided that Qazim Qeska, who was mayor of Rahovec, he made a public announcement that he's resigned, changed his mind, like Caroline did, and he said that Qazim Qeska cannot be anymore mayor. Now, the same judge comes, leaves Kosovo, comes back, and nobody tells him that, well, actually, you need to apply your own standard, have the medicine that you gave to others. You cannot come back.
But he never resigned officially.
But according,
he didn't sign the contract with ULEX.
According to Constitutional Court media announcement on 15th of September said, following the official announcement of Judge Robert Caroline that he can no longer be a member of the court. That means that Judge Caroline told Constitutional Court he can no longer be a member. This is resignation.
I didn't see a resignation letter from Judge Caroline.
But the Constitutional Court saw, because they say so in their 15 September public announcement, that he is thanked, gratitude, say their official announcement that he can no longer be a member of Constitutional Court. Should we really treat internationals by all just open arms, even though they don't respect our law as they tell others to respect it?
Well, I think in this case, again, we see it differently. I mean, his mandate continued with the exchange of letters and the reappointment that was done by us and the president. So he had the mandate. He didn't sign the contract.
That means he had to reapply. If this was fair, he left. He resigned, according to this announcement. I don't know what you did not see, but according to the announcement, he resigned, and then he changed his mind because he was probably paid more. Shouldn't he be thrown into the system that our local judges are thrown? Apply, and then go through the parliament, hopefully.
But, if his appointment was done by ULEX, and confirmed by the president, then his resignation should have been done the same way. Then ULEX should have informed the president officially that he resigned. I don't think we saw that letter coming from ULEX to the president about official resignation of Judge Caroline. So that's why I'm saying he didn't sign the contract with ULEX. It's a separate issue. He can always work pro bono.
So are you saying that if a local resigned, you would, at the same time, not treat it seriously if he would come back? Or is this a special case? This is an American judge by
No, locals are appointed one way, and internationals are appointed differently, as we discussed earlier.
No,
yes,
because the international oversight in Kosovo is over. ICO has passed on its responsibility not to EU-lex about appointment of judges, but to Kosovo institutions.
Yes.
So on this respect,
Yes.
And you have the same standard you should apply for international judges in the Constitutional Court, like you have done, like you know very well you have done, in the with EU-lex judges. You have sent them through Kosovo Judicial Council.
True. The end of supervised independence handed over to Kosovo responsibility, and Kosovo, with the Article 20, handed over responsibility for the appointment of judges to EULEX, which Kosovo is free to do according to its constitution, if there is an international agreement ratified in the parliament. And what I was saying about judges is that, the appointment, we agree or we don't agree, but we did it, the 3 appointments we did with EULEX going to the president, and president confirmed the appointments. So resignation should then go the same way, but it didn't. And that's my point, is that he officially didn't resign, even though maybe Constitutional Court,
so.
probably talking to him, had an understanding that he's resigning.